Julia from Kentucky, Anthony writes, and then I know you've got a couple of more poll results for us. She says, what is the answer for small businesses trying to survive through the economic cutbacks? What is there to help them? I mean, President Obama sort of addressed that tonight, didn't he?
Well, I mean, I think this is a really good question, Katie, and nobody's, I mean, first of all, small businesses generate a huge number of jobs, the majority of jobs in this country, and they're really getting squeezed, and they're having a really hard time getting money. And that's why, as President Obama discussed tonight, you know, getting the banking system fixed really is it. I mean, the key words out of Ben Bernanke's mouth on Capitol Hill today were, before we do anything, we've got to fix the banks. But also a really important part of what Obama did tonight, and I think this was an absolutely critical speech for him. You and I have talked about this. It's not enough to propose a plan. You have to convince people that it's going to work, because if they don't believe it's going to work, it won't. And to that end, I think he made significant strides tonight, and the polls seem to back that up. I mean, if you go through, this is our instant poll of people who've watched the speech. And if we can go to our first board here, we asked people if they approve of Obama's plans for the economic crisis. Before the speech, 63% of those viewing said they did. Afterwards, that had jumped to 80%. We asked them, will Obama's plans make the economy better? And nearly 3/4 told us now they think it will. We said, do you think the president's economic plans will help you personally? Before the speech, that number was only 36%, but afterwards it had jumped to more than half, 51%. Now, here's something I thought was very interesting. We asked people, do you understand his economic plans? Before, the number was only 58%, barely more than half. But afterwards, again, it had jumped to 3/4. So that's a huge improvement for him. He's getting his message across. And finally, we said, do you think the president's economic plans will help the housing crisis? Again, his number here was very strong, 76%. I think he gave an extraordinarily effective speech tonight. He had to get a message across. He wasn't talking to Wall Street. He wasn't talking to bankers. He was talking to Main Street, and he needed to get them behind him. And from this, it looks like he did.
And Anthony, how much of this is really instilling confidence in his plans? Because when push comes to shove, not to sound like a Debbie Downer, isn't it all kind of a crapshoot in terms of what will really fix the economy?
You're absolutely right. I mean, what did Secretary Geithner say himself a few weeks ago? I mean, maybe even less than that. Time is moving so fast. But he said, look, we're going to try some things we've never tried before, and we're going to make mistakes. So it is a crapshoot. But what's really critical is, I mean, we have a crisis of confidence in the country among consumers, among banks. You know, we have a crisis across the entire economy. You have to begin to get people to believe that things are going to get better, or they're not going to spend a dime. They're not going to buy houses. They're not going to buy cars. They're not going to buy anything. So it's really critical to begin to get people to think, you know what, we're going to work our way through this. It's a little bumpy now, and it might get even bad or worse, but it's going to get better. And I think he took a big step in that direction tonight.
So rebuilding confidence may be the most important thing on the agenda, at least in the beginning. Anthony, thank you so much. Nice to talk to you, and thank you for your little instant poll. Did you have fun?
I always have fun with you, Katie.
Oh, quit it some more, Anthony.